At least 9 states have banned student use of cell phones in the U.S., according to Press and Conlon. The reasons range from ending bullying to ending distractions in the classroom. However, these students will have to interact with a world that has constant access to social media. Thus, in whatever way we can, we need to help students recognize how to use their devices and the social media that accompanies them for their good and for the good of others. When using social media for school or work, teachers and students should respond formally. Abbreviations, memes, and emojis should be saved for less serious matters and informal groups. The information shared should be useful. Social media for work serves a purpose and should not be posts about irrelevant issues. Finally, what is shared should be necessary. With the asynchronous nature of social media, ideas that are important can be lost in a wall of text when other information is posted. Whatever the case, social media for a class is not meant to be treated like one's personal Facebook page. With that being said, teachers must practice extreme caution using social media. They cannot begin to treat students as one of the adults. They need to keep the appropriate authority structure so as to not cross lines and develop favorites. Teachers need to avoid and stop any gossip. Conversations like these do not build the desired healthy communities. Teachers also need to refrain from bringing up personal topics or holding students in confidence. Students are not counselors, nor are they friends. Especially concerning middle school and high school students, teachers do not need to bring them into personal relationships. The research of Krines and others describe social presence as a key to success in the online learning environment. However, the journey to understand social presence began in the 1970s as researchers desired to put a value on communication through the technology of the time. They tried to describe it as the realness of interactions and relationships through the new technological mediums. In the past 50 years, technology has made leaps and bounds, while the definition of social presence languished in ambiguity, unable to be utilized for the good of online learning environments. Social presence became important to understand, however, with the arrival of asynchronous learning. It was thrust to the forefront as COVID-19 forced schools to implement online learning environments, shaking the status quo. Social presence describes the ability of a person to project themselves into a space where they are not, and the ability of a person to believe that another person is there even though they are not in the same room. The amount of social presence people have is assumed to affect the amount of engagement a person has in the online environment. Social presence is often thought to be affected by the tools and the community. However, researchers are beginning to argue the tools should be measured by their own rubric called sociability. Likewise, the community, it is argued, should be measured by its own rubric called social space. These three ideas are intertwined. Social presence will be high when sociability is high, leading to healthy social spaces. A healthy community is the product of the ability of the users to project themselves into the online environment. Research by Plant and Asselin puts the onus for connecting with others in the online environment on the teacher first. They found the teacher needs to communicate up front. An introduction, pictures, and a biography let students see the teacher's social presence. Students will feel their own social presence when teachers respond in appropriate ways. Greetings, encouragement, praise, and empathy go a long way in letting students feel that they are part of the class. Teachers should participate in the discussion boards. Teachers should also respond to students' questions and assignments in a timely manner. All of these will shape the student's social presence. Kaufman and Valad agree. They say connection begins with the course design. Instructors must look for ways to incorporate discussion and collaboration. Instructors need to communicate. Instructors must also set the standards for behavior for students to feel comfortable in discussions. R. Campbell and others assert the best practices for connecting online will be those practices that are learner-centered and rooted in constructivism. They have created 5 pillars for online pedagogy. The first of these is build relationships and community. They suggest instructors help students collaborate by creating assignments requiring interaction from all students. These assignments should also require the entire group to understand and explain the problem. As for team building, they suggest teachers allow for games and activities as well as informal communication among students when appropriate. They also suggest that students should take part in setting the norms for classroom behavior. When used properly, social media improves the online learning environment. Social media offers real-time connection between all participants, improving the ability to collaborate. Students engage when they can work with other students to build something together. Social media can help to build community as students share information about who they are. This creates a community where students engage because they know they have social presence. Teachers can use social media to keep the course at the front of students' minds. Teachers can send notes of encouragement, reminders, extra material. These communications increase the teacher's social presence and student engagement. Students in the community learn to express themselves, provide ideas, seek answers, and challenge opinions. Participation increases when students get to know each other. As students get to know each other, student engagement increases. Studies have shown that students report enjoying a class more when social media is used. The enjoyment of class and learning will increase student engagement. Overall, used with care and consideration, social media helps to engage students in online learning environments. Through social media, students feel the social presence of their teacher and project their own social presence. Using social media, teachers create learner-centered environments focused on building community and collaboration. Therefore, social media provides online learning communities the means to grow into strong, healthy communities where students succeed.